Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks Wargaming and welcome to our latest 40k battle report. Today it is
Astra Militarum
versus the Ultramarines. Now, if you've been watching the Road to Last Chance Open video series that I've been doing, you'll know that I'm preparing my 40k Ultramarines for the Last Chance Open tournament that we are going to in January.
Is this going to be a filthy list?
Maybe. The list isn't completely finished yet. I'm still doing my 2 Storm Ravens, so it's my tournament list minus them, so with some replacements. So it's part filth, John. Only part filth. And we're going to do one of the missions out of the Chatter Approved book again today because I'm really enjoying these missions. These missions are actually really, really good. We had fun with one of them, didn't we?
Good, yeah.
So the mission that we're doing today is Resupply Drop, which I'm really looking forward to trying. So you get 6 objective markers on the battlefield. Then at the start of turn 3, whoever goes first picks 3. And they become the alpha objectives. And you label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you roll a d3. Whichever one, whichever one the dice gods decide is your primary objective. And the other 2 disappear. So you go from 6 down to 4 objectives. And then the start of the second player's turn 3. They do exactly the same for the remaining 3, which are known as the beta objectives. So by the end of turn 3, we go from 6 objectives down to 2. So the idea is there's a supply drop run coming in and the pilot has allocated 6 locations on the battlefield where the supplies are going to be going. And then as they get closer to the supply drop, they remove the decoys and you've got 2 that are definitely going to be dropped on. And the 2 armies are battling it out. So you've got this element now where we can all head to all 3 objectives, but 2 of them might disappear. And I could pick objectives in John's half and see if they could disappear. So I think that's quite cool. I really like this idea. It's very cinematic and I'm really looking forward to it. John, let me guess, you brought lots of tanks.
Yeah. If you've seen my guard army before, you'll know it's full of Leman Russ in every size and colour. Yeah,
so Imperial Guard, Astra Militarum are tough, and we know they're tough, and their tanks and their orders and their stratagems work very, very well. So, an almost tournament Ultramarines list against quite a tough guards list should be a good, fun game. Let's go and have a look at the armies. Here is my 2,000 points of Ultramarines for today's game, running in a battalion detachment. HQs, I am taking a Librarian. This guy has Smite and all the other wonderful stuff that Librarians come with nowadays. And a Primaris Captain equipped with a Power Fist and a Plasma Pistol. Troops, I am taking a 5-man tactical squad, all equipped with bolters. A Primaris tactical squad, again, all equipped with their bolt rifles. Exactly the same loadout for the 3rd troop choice, more Primaris Marines. Over to Elites. I'm running a 5-man Cadifracti Terminator squad, all equipped with chain fists. Heavy support, I am running 3 Centurion Devastators, all equipped with Grav cannons and Grav amps. Dedicated transports, I am taking 4 Razorbacks, all equipped with las cannons. And finally, my Lord of War choice is Reboot a Gulliman himself.
Here's my 2K's worth of Astra Militarum. It's split into a battalion detachment, which I'll take you through now. So my Warlord is Knight Commander Pask, and he is in a Leman Russ Punisher with heavy bolters all around. My other HQ choice out of that battalion is a Company Commander, and he's got a command squad with him that has a plasma gun embedded in there. Then I've got 3 squads of troops which are all exactly the same. They're just Imperial Guard guys with a melt gun embedded into each, and a Chimera for transport. So there's 1, 2, 3 of those, and then I've got the veterans in another Chimera with 3 melt guns embedded into that squad. And then I've got a heavy support choice of a Leman Russ with heavy bolters for sponsons and a las cannon in the hull, plus the heavy stubber in the pintle mount. And then I've got a spearhead detachment, which again has a company commander in there, and then 3 heavy support choices, 2 Leman Russ executioners, 1 with a las cannon, 1 with a heavy bolter in the hull, and then both with heavy bolter sponsons. And then I've got a more standard Leman Russ with again a las cannon in the hull and heavy bolter sponsons. So that is my 2K, very tank heavy. I do love my tanks, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck into the Ultramarines.
The armies are down on the battlefield. The Ultramarines, tactical squad, down by the first of the objective markers, number 6. Number 5 out by the crates. Number 3, all on top of the landing platform. We have the first of the Primaris squads and the Librarian looking at heading up, 2 objective markers to choose from. We then have the big hammer of this Ultramarines force. We have the 4 Razorbacks and Rebute Gulliman deployed, ready to move up the battlefield. The buffs from Rebute Gulliman hopefully coming in useful. Centurion Devastator squad and the Primaris captain and the Primaris squad on the right hand side of the battlefield, with number 1 objective marker right in front of them. For the Astra Militarum, objective number 4, behind the barricade, Leman Russes and all their lovely variants, a Chimera, another Leman Russ Executor, John?
Yep.
Leman Russ Executor, 2 of them this side of the board, more Leman Russes, more Chimeras, all hunkered down. We have another objective, we have number 2 just there. So that is everything deployed. Oh, we have hidden away behind the mountains another Leman Russ as well. So the Ultramarines finished deploying first, so it's +1 to my roll. So we need to roll now to see who goes first. So come on then, John. John rolls a 3, I roll a 5, which becomes a 6, so it's the Ultramarines to go first. The Ultramarines have started their march up the battlefield. Rebute Gulliman leading up the Razorbacks. I've also moved the Centurions to be within 6 inches of Rebute as well. Primaris Marines and the captain starting their march up. I am fully aware there's going to be lots of shots from that lovely Leman Russ Executioner. Primaris Marines in the centre of the board and the Librarian have started their march up, looking at getting one of these 2 objectives for me. Tactical squad have stayed still, holding on to that one there. So we're going to head over to shooting. I'm hoping for some good results from the Razorbacks. So really the only thing to shoot this turn was the 4 Razorbacks. These 3 in their little wedge shot down at the Leman Russ Executioner, destroying it. It actually blew up as well, taking off 2 mortal wounds from the Chimera just behind it there. The 4th Razorback shot at the Leman Russ down here, doing another 2 wounds to that. So Papa G has already started to help with these re-rolls to hits, re-rolls to wounds. But we have got a lot of tanks to go through. I need to be popping really 2 tanks a turn. And I've only done 1 this turn, but that has got me first blood.
So I was hoping to use that Executioner to start softening up the Terminators and whatnot down here, but sadly not to be. Those las cannons are brutal, especially when you've got that reroll option. And even though you'd think that model is obscured, then thanks to new cover rules, they don't get any benefit at all. So really painful to lose Leman Russ, basically 1 shot. Very unfortunate. But anyway, so here's the counter attack. So my veteran squad's making its way down that side of the table. They've got melt guns in there, so they can't wait to get out and start getting stuck into some Terminators down there. I've brought my platoon commander along for the ride, and he's issued the order, bring it down on the Chimera there, so it's going to be able to reroll 1s to hit, and it's going to be shooting obviously down here at these Primaris Marines. Then in the centre of the board, basically these guys are just going to stay put. There's no real reason for these guys to be moving at all at this point in time, and that's going to bring out a real benefit later on when we start firing those turret weapons twice, thanks to grinding advance. Over this side though, we are being a little bit more aggressive, so the Chimeras are moving forward, looking to start grabbing some of these objectives down here and start taking the fight a little bit to the enemy down there. And my Warlord has come round and he's issued Gunner's Kill on sight to himself. So he's going to be re-rolling ones to hit down here. And oh, I should have mentioned as well, so my other platoon commander there, I've issued Gunner's Kill on sight to the Chimera there that's closest to him as well, so I just don't have a second card for that one, so he's got Gunner's Kill on sight as well. The Chimera on the flank of the battlefield here didn't do any damage to the Primaris Marines down here at all, just complete disaster of shooting, but my combined Lehman Russ shot did actually soften up the Razorbacks quite considerably. Actually, one of them's been destroyed and one of them's down to just 4 wounds remaining, so pretty good round of shooting from there. Actually, that's pretty neat. And similar sort of story over on this side, actually, thanks to a couple of multi-laser shots from the Chimera there, and then Pask with his heavy bolters down here wiped out the tactical squad that was sitting on that objective down there, and the Punisher cannon was just devastating on the Primaris Marines down here. So even though the Punisher cannon isn't the best weapon, when you're chucking down 40 dice, that's 2 shots of 20, then you're just going to get some hits, you're going to get some wounds, you're going to cause some damage, especially with Pask, who's hitting on 2s, and I gave him fire on my target, so he was re-rolling those 1s, so he actually managed to get 39 out of 40 hits, which is pretty awesome. So that squad has been wiped out as well, so I'm pretty pleased with that round of shooting all in. This side of the table looks pretty weak for Rich down here, but I'm still worried about obviously all these Razorbacks and the Primarch down here, of course you can't ignore. So yeah, it's not all going my way just yet, but definitely feel like this side we're taking the fight to the enemy.
John did quite well in that turn, starting to whittle down the Ultramarines. So reinforcements are in. Califract Terminators have deep striked right behind Pask, 9 inches away. Going to try and go into assault over there. The Razorbacks have moved up. Rabute Gunnerman has also moved up as well. Nice little gun platform right in front of Rabute. Got lots and lots of tanks to look at. The Centurions have also moved up. They're 4 inches, within 6 of Rabute. The Captain and the Incessor Squad have moved up as well, looking at maybe shooting and going into combat with the Chimera. And finally, the Librarian, who's on his own now, has snuck in to underneath the landing platform. So we do have choices of objective, depending on which 3 I pick for next turn. But we're definitely holding that one. So let's go do some shooting. Quite a successful round of shooting so far. Smite has went off from the Librarian here. He has perfect line of sight just through to that Chimera back there, doing D3 mortal wounds, and I rolled a 5, so he took off 3 mortal wounds off that tank. Always nice. The Razorbacks shot at the Executioner over there, 2 of them, whittling it down to 8 wounds remaining, and I had the 3rd one left to shoot and pick a target with. So his shots went straight back onto that Lehman Russ, and I rolled an 8 for my wound, so he went bye-bye. Graf Centurions, they shot at the Lehman Russ that was here, wiping that out quite easily. This Chimera down here took 1 wound from the plasma pistol of my Primaris Captain, and now I had to use a command point to re-roll that. However, Ultramarines means I get to roll to see if I lose that command point, and on a 5 up I gain it back, and I rolled a 5, so that cost me nothing. Combat, these Incessor Squads are going to go into that Chimera, and my Terminators are going to attempt to go into Pask as well. I'm tempted to use Honour the Chapter, which means these guys will get to fight twice as they go in. I think I'm going to use it on my Captain with a Power Fist rather than just the normal Incessor Squad. So, yeah, 3 command points, but I will get a chance to regrow them, so to speak. Califracted Terminators failed to make it into combat, and the volleys of fire from Pask, well, 1 was pulled down. 1 was pulled down from the shots of Pask there. Quite painful, that hurt. However, the Incessor Squads also failed to make it in. I lost 1 to Overwatch, took a wound on another guy from Overwatch. Captain went in with a Power Fist, took 2 wounds to Overwatch. John's rolls and Overwatch, who have been phenomenal over here. I then used Honour the Chapter. I kept 1 of the 3 command points. So he went in, he hit twice, he destroyed the Chimera quite easily. The squad are out now. Unfortunately, because the Incessor Squads haven't made it, the Captain is the closest target to those guys. So he's going to get shot. The Razorbacks kind of need to survive so we can start swinging round this way. And those Cataphract Terminators need to survive so we can go into the back of Pask and mess him up. Now, we are going to be losing objective markers from the start of next turn.
So the veterans that got blown out of their Chimera have their captain firmly in their sights now, and just to make absolutely sure, the company commander behind them has issued the order, bring it down. So they're going to be re-rolling any ones on the roll to wound. So hopefully that will be enough to kill him. And then the Leman Russ in the middle has stayed where it is, and the Chimera behind it's come round to take some shots at these Razorbacks. They're starting to look a little bit more shaky now, especially that one in the centre there with just 4 wounds remaining. Across the centre of the battlefield here behind the landing pad, the Chimera there has moved up through the chainmail fence with a view to killing the Librarian that's down here. There is a line of sight under there, believe me, to that Librarian. And I've issued the order from the company commander there, take aim. So they'll be re-rolling any ones to hit on their shooting. And then we've got Pask. Pask has moved around the building here, and again looking to take down that Librarian. So I'd like to think his days are numbered, and I have again issued Gunner's Kill on sight to Pask. So he will be re-rolling ones to hit on his shooting phase. And then finally, the Leman Russ at the top here has backed up just to counter the Cataphractii Terminators that have just appeared from the Teleportarum chamber of the battleship overhead. So hopefully their time on this battlefield will be limited, and 2 shots in the battle cannon and the heavy bolters as well for good measure should be enough to kill them off, all being well. So not looking too bad, but I am still worried about the strength of this side of the table in particular. The vets managed to kill off the captain, but it was a good choice to use that stratagem because I got 3 hits with the melt guns and then they all rolled 1 to wound, so it's a real good job I got that stratagem there and could re-roll them all, so that was really, really fortunate. So anyway, that captain is dead. In the centre of the board down here, the Leman Russ, the Chimera, and actually that command squad over there all fired at the Razorbacks down here, and as you can see, they now really are beaten up. So we've got 1 on 1 wound, 1 on 2 wounds, so they're just about clinging on. The Librarian unsurprisingly died pretty miserably down here. The Punisher alone was enough, but there were other shots available as well if needed. So yeah, he died unfortunately for him. And across the back of the battlefield down here, the Leman Russ has done a pretty good job of defending itself. So the battle cannon killed 2 of the Cataphractii Terminators, and that squad is obviously going to have to take a morale check and see how they get on after that. But yeah, not a bad round of shooting. I'm pretty pleased with that. And as we go into turn 3, where we're going to start removing some objectives, I've got good options down here for those 2, if not even indeed that 3rd one there, although I'm going to have to get some troops out of transports to go and grab that one because it's on the 1st floor. I've got this one down here. That one is potentially within reach, but of course it's still got these Razorbacks, and still you can't argue with the fact there's a Primarch on the table. That's going to have to be dealt with at some point.
So we're now at the start of turn 3. We have supplies incoming. All of these objective markers have been the ping locations for the incoming aircraft that's going to drop off these supplies. Some of these are fake and decoys, so I have to select 3 of these objective markers and then roll a D3 to find out which one is the active. So I've selected this one down here in the bunker, that one over by the mountain and the tank traps, and that one that is right in front of the Leman Russ. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. It's a 4. So it's that one. That is the primary objective, and these other 2 disappear off the board. So with the primary alpha objective now in play, the Razorbacks, 2 that are slightly beaten up, have moved there 3 inches. Gulliman and the one at full health has also moved round. Centurions and the remaining Incessor squads have moved up. They're looking at shooting and hopefully killing off that Astra Militarum squad. Allow me to move around onto that objective. And my Cataphractii Terminators, which are all the way back here in between the mountain, you can just about make them out, have moved their 4 inches up, looking at going into combat with that Leman Russ and doing that some damage with their chain fists. We've got to do some shooting first. The Razorbacks have all shot into that Leman Russ down there. They were also joined by fire from one of the Grav Centurions. It's got 1 wound. He's got 1 wound left. Even Rabute Gulliman shot his Hand of Domination at them. 1 damn wound left. The Combi Bolters from the Caliphate Terminators, no damage to the Lehman Russ. We've taken 4 Imperial Guard, sorry, Astra Militarum guys, from the Incessor Squad and the other 2 remaining Grav Centurions down there. So not much damage done. So the Incessor Squad are going to go into combat. The Caliphate Terminators are going to go into combat as well. So we've got a little bit to do here. We're going to lose at least 1 Razorback next turn, so I'm going to have 1 left. Yeah, it's looking thin on the ground for the Ultramarines, but then again, it is for the Astra Militarum as well. The Caliphate Terminators have actually done something. I lost one in Overwatch going in, but Jonathan used a stratagem called Defensive Gunners, so his Overwatch shots hit on a 5, not a 6, killing off 1 guy as he went in. The remaining Caliphate Sergeant went in and did 2 wounds. To no wounds back, so we've started chipping away at that old tank, but not a lot of damage going on down here. The Incessor Squad also made it into combat with the troop choice down here for the Astra Militarum, killing another 3 off. We are locked in combat again. I lost somebody in Overwatch. A little bit annoying. We've lost quite a bit with this Overwatch. Fire Junkies rolling 6s.
So now it becomes my turn to roll on what are now beta objectives to see which is the real objective. So down here we're going to have 1 and 2, then we're going to have 3 and 4, and up there we're going to have 5 and 6. So let's see which is the real objective. 1, so it's just this one down here. So Pask in his Punisher has moved at the full 12 inches down here, and I have issued the order Gunners kill on sight onto himself. So he won't be able to fire the turret weapon twice, he's moved too far, but there is just 24 inches separating him from that Razorback down there, so he's going to be first to fire, re-rolling any 1s, but only firing once unfortunately. The Chimera behind has offloaded the troops and then moved down here to come towards this objective. The troops themselves have a field of fire at the Razorbacks through that little gap just there. The Chimera there has stayed put, but the squads that were behind it, the command squad, have moved towards the Terminators here. And the reason they've done that is the Lehman Russ has withdrawn from combat, so it is down to them to take out those Terminators, because obviously the Lehman Russ is not going to be able to fire having withdrawn from combat. The Chimera there in the centre has discharged its troops, and they've moved forward towards these Razorbacks here. There is a melt gun embedded in that squad, so that hopefully is going to cause a bit of damage. The Lehman Russ here is clinging on to life here. I might use the stratagem jury rigged on him and just see if I can pull a wound back on him. We've got another squad here from the Chimera that's just to the left, bottom left of the screen here. Those guys have hopped out, and again there's a melt gun embedded in that squad, so hopefully they're going to start roughing up those Razorbacks just a little bit. And I've very cunningly used an order down here, and I've got the company commander here to issue the order get back in the fight onto these veterans here. So they have withdrawn from combat from those Primaris Marines, but thanks to the order get back in the fight, they will be able to fire and hopefully destroy that unit. So there's a couple of potential kills on the table here. It's looking pretty good for a turn of a bit of destruction for the Ultramarines, hopefully. It has been quite a bloody round of shooting. So Pask managed to destroy the Razorback that was nearest to him. That exploded and actually took a wound off the Razorback that was next to it. Softened it up quite nicely for the squads that are there and across there to start shooting. Destroyed that Razorback and the one next to it as well, thanks to some combined firepower from the Lehman Russ and the other Chimera that is just down there.
When that Razorback exploded, I took a wound off Gulliman as well.
Yeah, so
and you took 3 off your own squad, I think, wasn't you?
Yes, so yeah, unfortunately a couple of my squad mates died in that explosion, and Gulliman took a wound as well. But yeah, you take that in the grand scheme of things, I guess. Down here as well, the shots from the veterans have killed one of the Primaris Incessor Marines, and the other one is presumably going to act revenge at some point later on in the game. But yeah, at least managed to get those shots off, and that's quite nice. And down here as well, the Cataphractii Terminators, or Terminator that was left, he died thanks to that command squad down there. So Rich pointed out that those guys have basically done nothing except be a bullet magnet for the duration of the game, but they are now finally eliminated. So it's not looking too bad for me at the moment. I'm quite kind of pleased with how things are generally progressing. Rich doesn't have a lot of models left, although having said that, one of them is still a Primarch, and then we've also got some Grav Centurions as well. So yeah, it's still tough on that side of the board, even with a limited number of models.
The Grav Centurions have slowly started their walk down off the rocky outcrop, shooting into the Lehman Russ that was alive with 2 wounds, destroying it. It did not blow up. I kind of really wanted it to with the amount of bodies all around there, but unfortunately it didn't. Rebrute Gulliman shot at the Chimera, taking off 2 wounds there. And finally, the Primaris Sergeant shot at the troop squad, killing off 1. It's going to go into assault. Primaris Sergeant's going into that squad again, and Gulliman. Do I go against the Chimera or do I go against the squad? I've decided to take Rebrute Gulliman into the normal troops just here. They are objective secured, so they kind of need to die. So John's just about to overwatch me. So this is the las gunshots. There's 18 of them coming in. Watch John and his 6s. Oh, he's got 2. So 2 6s. So he now needs 5s to wound me. He gets 1 wound. 2 up save. Yeah, Rebrute's fine. Now it's the turn of the melt gun. Nope, doesn't hit. So it's a 3-inch charge for Rebrute. Yep, he's definitely in. So Rebrute Gulliman, I've decided to hit with the Emperor's Sword. So I'm hitting on 2s, 6 attacks. Now obviously Rebrute Gulliman causes a reroll to hits and wounds. So Pask does it on himself. So we're guessing Rebrute Gulliman does. Internet, let us know if we're wrong. So I've re-rolled one of the fails, or the 1 fail, and hit with that as well. So all 6 have hit. Now I need 2s to wound. Now with a reroll. So 2s to wound. I'll re-roll that one. Hey, still miss. So John has got 5 wounds, but that is a 6. So that is going to be mortal wounds instead. Because I've hit lonely little Astra Militarum guys, 5 have died straight out. It's now John's turn to hit me back. So John has 7 dice. That's not bad rolling, John. That's 4 hits. So John now needs 6s to wound me. He gets 1. He gets 1. And obviously it's a 2-up save for Rebrute. Ha! Wouldn't you know it? However, I'm going to spend a command point and re-roll that.
Really?
Yes, really. So that's a 2. So Rebrute's fine. Now, because I'm an Ultramarines player, do I lose that command point on a roll of a 5 or a 6? I don't. No, I don't. So that was a free one. Brilliant. So 5 casualties. Leadership of 7. Roll me that morale dice, please, John. Let's see what we do. 2 more. 2 more die. And then in the remainder of the fight phase, the Primaris captain killed off 1 more of the troops from down there. Still hanging in, though. Still hanging on.
The veteran squad that were in combat down here with the Primaris Marine, they withdrew from combat, and then the commander used the order, get back in the fight, to get them shooting again, and as a result of that order, then the Primaris Marine succumbed to melt gun fire. Towards the centre of the battlefield, well, Rebrute Gulliman received pretty much all of the firepower of my army that's left. So the Lehman Russ sneaking around the back of the rocks down there, the guard squad in front, and the Chimera. The squad he was in combat with withdrew, much to Rich's annoyance, so they couldn't shoot. But everything else that you see there fired at Gulliman, plus the other Chimera that's down here behind the landing pad, plus the command squad, plus the other guard squad just down here. He's down to 5 wounds. So he did get a pretty bad beating, actually, but there was a lot of shots fired, so it's no surprise, I guess, that he did get beaten up. On the subject of getting beaten up, then down here, the Grav Centurion squad, they got hit by Pask. Pask moved his full 10 inches, so we could only fire the Punisher just once over, obviously with the heavy bolter bolters as well. So I did use the order gunners kill on sight to re-roll any ones that occurred while I was shooting, but with one round of shooting from the Punisher cannon, still pretty pleased to have killed one and then left one with just a single wound remaining. So their time on this battlefield is definitely numbered, I would say. The other bit of movement that happened is just down here. My Chimera's just moved to consolidate this position on that objective.
Grav Centurions up and onto that objective, shot at the Chimera, hit, and then fell to wound. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Rebrute Gulliman, the squad that was there, shot at them, removing 4 or 5, and then went into combat and just slaughtered them with the Emperor's Sword again, and then just backed up a little bit as well. So we're over to Astra Militarum turn 5 of what could be the last turn of this game.
So the veterans decided to sneak around the rock and try and shoot the Grav Centurions in the back, but that didn't work out too well. They didn't wound. The Chimera in front of them opened up, and I think they took 1 wound out, but then the Leman Russ behind has absolutely destroyed that Grav Centurion squad, so it's removed them from that objective, which is great, and that left everybody else free then to shoot at Gulliman. So so far all these las guns and melt guns have fired and really not done a lot of damage. But Pask has fired from down here and has caused 9 wounds, which Rich is now going to save. And that's the first time that Punisher cannon has fired. Of course, we've still got another round of shooting potentially to go. But
so we need 9 2-ups, because there's no modifier on this.
That's right.
So 9 2-ups. So he's taken 2 wounds, is it?
2 wounds so far, yeah. So 2 wounds left.
Pask is now going to use the second volley rounds of shots with Gunner's killer on sight. Tank order being issued. He gets to re-roll any ones. Pask hits on 2s anyway. 20 dice. 20 dice. You've got 3 re-rolls. Okay. Oh, 1 fails. So 19 hits. So it's strength 5. 5s to wound me. Oh. There's at least 3 6s in there. I can see quite a few 5s. Let's go work out how many damage we've done. 10 wounds on Rebrute. 10. Damn, so I've got 10 2-ups to make. Yeah, it's all good. It's all fine. He's perfectly fine. So that is the end of turn 5. Only thing left for the Ultramarines is Rebrute Gulliman. But this battle will continue on a roll of a 3+. Which it does. We get a turn 6. The only thing I can do with Rebrute is I've moved him back. He's now within 3 inches of that objective. So he's now going to shoot with his gun. And I'm going to target these 3 guys just here. So they're my first shots. Hitting on 2s with a reroll, but I don't need that reroll. So I'm now wounding on 2s as well. Strength 6. Wounding on 2s. With a reroll because of himself. So John has got quite a lot. So this is -1, John. What's your t-shirt got? So John now has 6 6-up saves. Let's see if you can do it.
Highly unlikely.
6-ups. Oh, he does 2 of them, but they're still dead. So now Rebrute Gulliman has seen off that squad. It's time to try and get rid of this Chimera. John is obviously going to overwatch me. He's put down defensive gunner stratagem as well, so he's hitting me on 5s. What's shooting first, John?
The heavy bolters.
Heavy bolters hitting me on 5s. He's got 1 hit. Now that will be wounding me on 5s. Wouldn't you know it? It's -1 because of heavy bolters. So this becomes a 3-up. Yeah, it's all good. That's a 6. Time for the multi-laser to shoot. 2 hits. Nice rolling, John. What's the strength for this weapon?
Strength 6.
Strength 6, toughness 6. So you're going to need 4s. 1 wound. Any AP modifier?
No modifier on that.
No modifier, so it's a 2-up. Yep, Rebrute's good. Rebrute Gulliman could not really fail that charge range, so he's in. I'm hitting with the Hand of Dominion. So 6 attacks hitting on 2s with a reroll because of, you know, Gulliman. 5 hits gone in. I am now strength 12. I'm not double John's toughness at toughness 7, so I need 3s with a reroll. So we have wounded on all 5. John has now got 5 6-ups to make. This is 3 damage a pop. He saves one of them, but there's 3, 6, 9, 12. It's dead. Does it blow up, John? Yes, oh, of course it bloody does. So the Leman Russ at the back of the battlefield is within 6 inches, so it takes D3 mortal wounds. It takes 3, so he's down to 7. And then, of course, we've got the little situation of Rabute Gulliman down here. Go on then, John. Oh! Oh, he's alive. He's alive with 1 wound remaining.
So things aren't looking too good for Rabute Gulliman, I don't think. The Leman Russ down here has stayed put. There's no real point in moving at all. Guard Squad has moved up here to get the melt gun in range to re-roll any wounds that might be caused. It's very presumptuous of me. The Command Squad have also moved up as well. That Command Squad has, or the company commander in that squad, has issued front rank, second rank to the squad there. So they're going to be firing their las guns twice over. Pask has stayed put, no point moving Pask either. I've reissued Gunner's Kill on Sight to himself. And down here, the Vet Squad, they've moved their 6 inches, and I've issued the order forwards for the Emperor. Now, I'm really keen on getting that squad onto that objective. So forwards for the Emperor, if you're not familiar with it, means that they can advance and still shoot. So that is really a nice little touch to have at this juncture in the game. So I'm going to now do the advance roll and add that to their movement. It's another 2 inches, and that is going to be enough to get them within the 3 inches they need to get up onto that objective.
So John is now determined to kill off Rabute. The Leman Russ at the back of the battlefield has shot with heavy bolters. Yep. 2 wounds at -1. So I've got 2 3-ups to make. What more could you want but a double 6? So the battle cannon has shot onto Rabute. We've got 3 wounds at -2, which would take him to a 4 armor save, but he does have a 3-up invuln save, so let's use that instead. 3 3-ups. Wow, that's one way to fail it. So with the fall of Rabute Gulliman, that is now the end of Jonathan's shooting phase. He has nothing else to shoot at. So Rabute Gulliman will stand up on a roll of a 4+. Now I do have a command point here as well. I'm going to re-roll that with a command point. He's back up, and he's back up with D6 wounds. 4 wounds. So with the Primarch back up on his feet, we need to see if we get a turn 7. Jonathan, roll me a dice. On a 4-up, this game continues. It continues to turn 7. So turn 7 for the Ultramarines. Rabute Gulliman has jumped over the tank traps. He has shot into the officer that was down here and absolutely splattered him across the battlefield. We're now going to go into assault with the 2 remaining melter guys. John, do you want to overwatch me?
I would love to.
So 2 6s? No. So let's see if I make the charge. Yes, I do. Surprisingly enough, Rabute Gulliman made very short work of those 2 remaining in Astra Militarum troops, which means it's John's turn 7. He has 1 turn, quite a lot of firepower, but he's got to lay it all down onto Rabute Gulliman to win this game.
So what I really wanted to do with this squad is get them right up onto that objective, but there's just not enough movement in there. So I got as close as I possibly can, but I'm going to have to try and kill Gulliman off in shooting. He's got 4 wounds remaining, but he has got an absolute firing squad in front of him. We've got the Leman Russ down there. We've got the command squad. We've got another squad here that have got orders of bring it down. So if they roll 1 to wound, that's going to be a re-roll. And, of course, we've got Pask down here as well. And Pask has been reissued the order Gunner's Kill on Sight. So, again, if he gets a 1 on his rolls to hit, that's going to be a re-roll as well. And we've got the Chimera waiting here as well. So he has got a real firing squad, but it is all down to this roll of shooting as to whether I can get him off that objective or not.
John has elected to shoot with the command squad first. So this is going to be a 4-up to hit. When you're ready, John.
Here's the las guns.
Normal las guns. Ooh, 3 hits. So it's strength 3 against toughness 6. So John is going to need 6s. Of course, he gets 1. So this is a 2-up save, no modifier. Rebute is fine. Next to shoot is the second of the guard squad. This is las guns and las pistols, hitting me on 4s. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits there, John. Well done. 6 hits. I'm guessing you're going to need 6s to wound me again.
Yep.
6s to wound with 5 of them. Okay. Now your dice roll as we go. This will all be 6s. Oh, there's 1. No modifier.
Nope.
2 up. Yeah, gunman's fine. Next, it is the melter gun from this squad. He hits. And then it's going to be...
Strength 8.
So 3s to wound me. It's a 3. So Gunnerman has got a 3-up invuln save. Because the modifier on that melt gun will just make it pointless. I might as well just roll it on Rebute's invuln. It's a 3-up. Oh, I've rolled a 2. I've rolled a 2. I'm going to spend a command point and try and re-roll it. 3-up. He does it. He is still alive. So it is time for Warlord on Warlord. Pask is going to shoot at Rebute Gulliman. Heavy bolters first.
Now he hasn't moved, so he's hitting on 2s.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't moved. But he has got the order to re-roll 1s. So you get to re-roll those 3 there, John. Wow, that's some good shooting, Tex. Obviously now he needs to wound me on 5s. Come on then, John. 1 wound. 1 wound at -1. Gulliman takes a wound. He's down to 3. So Pask is now going to open up with the Punisher cannon. And this is 2s to hit, 1s with a reroll. Damn it. 40 dice. He gets to shoot this twice. So you got 2 rerollables in there, John. That's the first 20. They have all hit. 20 dice. Wounding me on 5s. There's quite a few. Let's go work this out. 7 wounds done out of that pile of 20 dice. No modifier. So this is 7 2-ups. There's 3 1s in there. Gulliman falls. Gulliman has fallen to Pask. Oh, do you know what? I've got 1 command point remaining. Let's re-roll this. He's fine. He's got 1 wound remaining, and I've got no command points left. But of course, Pask gets to do this all over again. So let's go. 20 dice. Hitting me on 2s. Quite a few more 1s in there this time. There's 4, John. So re-roll them. Oh, 2 1s. We have 2 misses this time. Yay. 5 and 6s again to wound me. Oh, of course. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 in there. On a recount, there's actually 5 wounds done. No modifier. This is a 2-up. I've got 5 dice in my hands. I've got no command points remaining. He has 1 wound left. I need 2-ups. There's 2 1s. Rebute has fallen right at the final hurdle. And with the falling of Rebute Gulliman, it is a victory for the Astra Militarum. They have seen off the might of the Ultramarines. They have seen off the might of a Primarch. Let's head over to the post-game review.
Hi guys, welcome back to the post-game review. That was 7 turns of carnage. Absolute carnage. There was a lot of damage done to both sides. And in the end, the Ultramarines fell and Rebute Gulliman fell in quite a nice way. I don't know if that's the right word, but Pask...
Is there a nice way to die in battle?
Probably not. But Pask did the damage in the end. I thought that was, that was fitting for Pask to be able to do the ones. If it had been pulled down to a lonely guardsman, I think I would have cried. But it wasn't. But really, really good fun. Should we start with Astra Militarum, because they did win. So, go on then, John. How did your army perform today?
Well, yeah, Pask is brilliant. I think I might get a few more Punishers, actually, because they are awesome. Ever since this ability with grinding advance to be able to fire the turret weapon twice came in, they're just lethal. I mean, you're chucking 40 dice down, and especially with Pask, because he hits on 2s. Yeah. And, of course, then you've got orders that make 1s re-rollable. Then he's almost guaranteed 20-odd hits.
Which he pretty much was every turn, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
18 was the worst, I think. You really can't argue with that. And it's okay. It's a strength 5 weapon, so it's not exactly stellar. But then you just throw so many dice down that something's going to stick.
It's weight of numbers.
It is.
It is literally weight of numbers with the dice that you're throwing down.
So that's a really neat little unit. I'm really, really impressed with Paskin and Punisher. That's a good setup. Leman Russ in general are still pretty brutal, and being able to fight even a lowly battle cannon twice over is great.
Yeah, that is.
I think every variant that I've got is good. The executioners, well, one of them died without taking his shot, but I was kind of hoping that would be able to soften up. I was expecting Terminators, and obviously I was expecting to be able to soften up with Terminators. As it transpired, it never really sort of panned out that way, but I still think they'll be pretty tough units. But yeah, just Leman Russ in general are tough thanks to the meta of this edition. The vehicles are strong, and they're not easy to kill, even with Razorbacks staring down at you, and you got 3 of them. What, four of them? Four of them. With 2 las cannons apiece, and then Gulliman being able to re-roll
all hits,
all wounds. Crazy. Yeah,
it's quite nice.
That's well, we'll move on to your stuff in a minute, but that's quite an impressive setup. But even that didn't delete that many Leman Russ out of the game. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the way the army panned out. I'd love
It did.
Well,
no, it did.
There was plenty of tanks left at the end of the game.
That's because you had a bucket full of them to start with.
Pays you money, takes your choice, right?
Oh, yeah, true.
I'd like to get something in the air again. I've got a Vendetta model which has secretly been deleted from the codex. There's no option to make it into a Vendetta anymore, so I need to do something about that and figure out how to incorporate that into some games. But yeah, I'd like to get something back in the air again. But it turns out that God doesn't really need it. Certainly against the list I've seen.
I don't think out of any of the guard lists I've seen in any of the battle reports that I watch, or been to Warhammer World and had a walk around and seen lots of Astra Militarum armies. Astra Militarum, John? Imperial Guard. And I haven't seen many flies at all. So you're right. I think they're so strong that with their tanks, I don't know if you do need them. Actually, I know you like flyers because.
Well, I like the Vendetta. It's a nice model, and
yeah,
3 las cannons, not twin link las cannons. It's great. And
who does such a thing with so many las cannons? I mean, really. So I'm guessing your unit in the game was Pask.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so as well.
No doubt.
I'd say so as well. I think you did quite well today. Move on to the Ultramarines. Tournament list-wise, the 4 Razorbacks with the las cannons and Gulliman did very well. I think they did quite nice today. There is a Rhino missing from this list that I am taking to the tournament, which I think I need because I need something to move my troops around. The foot slogging element.
Do you know you can put troops in Razorbacks, right?
Yes, I know I can put the troops in the Razorbacks, but their idea is that they literally either stay still with Rabute Gulliman or they slowly move up the battlefield, which is what I was doing today.
Okay.
So they're not really a troop transport option because you don't really go where the objectives are. You'd more likely just shoot the hell out of anything big and scary.
Okay.
So, I mean, we destroyed, what, half of your tanks, I think, probably?
Yeah, about that.
About half of the tanks, and most of those kills were from the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, Gulliman killed 1 in combat. Grav Centurions actually did quite well today. Grav and Grav Amps, so you're not -1 to hit as you move. You're not suffering that penalty. Did quite a lot of damage. They really, really did, and that was good. That was good to see the Grav Centurions. Terminators, what a waste of points they were. The Califract Terminators deep striked in, did nothing. Walked around the side of a mountain, did nothing,
got blown up,
and then got shot. Yeah. Oh no, one of them made it into combat and took off 1 wound off a Leman Russ.
Yeah. Ooh.
Part A, and then got killed. So they were completely and utterly waste of points. But my Storm Ravens aren't ready yet. Primaris Marines, they did okay. They didn't do too bad. 2 wounds a pop, 2 shots. That helps. Or 2 attacks, I should say. 2 attacks, that helps them quite a lot. Primaris Captain killed a Chimera and pretty much squished. Oh no, and then he died, didn't he?
That's quite a nice order. Get back in the fight. Forgotten about that.
Yeah, get back in the
out
fight.
Of combat and then shoot again. That's ideal for those guys with melt guns.
Which I have a standard anyway because I'm an Ultramarines player. I love the ability to not lose a command point on a roll of a 5 or a 6.
That's annoying because you're spending them like
sweets. It's like reroll.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works out quite well. And I got quite a few back. I must have got about 4 or 5 back of my command points today from those rolls, and I'm happy with that. Rabute Gunnerman. Did okay. He's
tough.
He's very tough. You enjoyed killing him today. You really wanted to.
It felt like it was rewarded at the end from a lot of persistence trying to kill him.
But it's the fact that you didn't know that he comes back, which I thought was brilliant. So you were like, yeah, oh, why is he lying down? What's he doing? Why is he back up?
Taking a nap.
Which is quite nice. So I'm looking forward to getting my tournament list finished, and if I get a chance before the end of January, I will do a test game, possibly against your Tau, maybe. So, yeah, the Ultramarines did all right today. Yes, it was a loss, but it's a test game for my list. Razorbacks are strong. Guilliman's still strong. I know they've gone up in points. Graf Centurions and Terminators are being dropped from a Storm Raven, and there's a Razorback in here as well. Librarian let me down today. Thinking about things that let me down. My librarian did. So he travelled up with...
He didn't do a lot, did he really?
He did naffle. So he moved up with a squad of Primaris Marines, who you then killed. He's on his own, so he kind of goes, oh, I'll go behind this crate. He does one smite and then gets shot by Pask and killed. That's pretty much all he did. So he let off smite once. So, you know what, it is what it is, and he probably wouldn't do that in the tournament. I'd probably stick him in the Rhino with the normal tactical Marines, run him up the board, get him close, get him out and go schmite, because everybody loves a bit of smite nowadays. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with this list so far. It's done quite well. I think I destroyed more tanks in that game than I have done in the last couple of games against your Imperial Guard.
You bring a lot of las cannons to the party.
You have to bring a lot of las cannons to the party, or there's just no point turning up, especially at a tournament. So, question, last chance open. Everybody knows that I'm taking my Ultramarines.
I'm kind of glad you asked that.
What are you taking? If you do not say Astra Militarum, I'm going to slap the taste out of your mouth.
I am actually quite tempted to bring more or less this list. I might go and buy a couple of Punisher turrets and swap some of them out for more Punishers.
John, you haven't paid anything in years, and you've got like 6 weeks.
That's all right. Now's the time.
Right.
I could easily do that. Yeah, I'm quite tempted to bring more or less... I'm going to have a tweak and see if I can fit a few more Punishers in. I like this list.
I would say definitely bring this list. And knowing a lot of the people that go to places like Last Chance Open Tournament, they will be Marines, lots of Marines. There'll probably be lots of Ultramarines with Guilliman running around. There probably will be Chaos. There will be Nids. I would have thought there'd be more Astra Militarum players there this time. The normally is 1 or 2.
There was going to say only 1 or 2.
There was only 1 or 2 last time out of 60 something players. I'm expecting that number to creep up. So if I was you, I would definitely take Astra Militarum. 100%. They are brilliant. I don't expect to see many Tau players. I don't expect to see many Eldar players. Yeah, take them. I would definitely take them. I think your list is good. I think your list is strong. You need to take Pask. You have to take Pask. He's brilliant. Just the amount... A Razorback against a tank is really good. But you are forcing me to shoot 2 of my Razorbacks at a tank, or 3, or even all 4, just to kill off 1 tank. Because of the amount of wounds.
Yep.
So
you're going to run out of game turns.
And we're going to run out of game turns to do it. Now, if I'm against something... a slightly different army, and 1 Razorback can kill 1 big thing, another Razorback can kill another, and I can kill 4 things a turn with all 4 Razorbacks, or even 2, and I'll split my fire. So those 2 fire over there, those 2 fire over there. With your tanks, because tanks are so tough nowadays, and especially your Lehman Russes, you're almost forcing me to expel most of my firepower onto those tanks. So I think you definitely need to take the Astra Militarum. So, thank you for watching, guys. Please leave us a comment. What do you think to my list so far? Don't forget, this isn't complete. What do you think to John taking Astra Militarum? Any advice for his list that he's taken today and how to tweak it for a tournament? Yeah, I'd pretty much go what you got, to be honest. Please leave us a like. It does help out the channel. Don't forget our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So as soon as we hit 10,000 subscribers, we're giving away some prizes for you guys. I'll put the link to the video that you need to enter in on into the description of this video. Share it round, pass the message round. We're getting closer and closer and closer. We're picking up more subscribers every week, which is fantastic. And as soon as we hit 10,000, we will draw a winner for that prize. So thanks for watching, guys. And as always, we will see you on the next one.